today I want to talk about finding the domain for a composite function. I'm going to show one example, and then I'm going to talk about a mistake that a lot of people make when doing this. So what's the first thing we want to do? Well, we want to evaluate the domain of g of x, our inside function, okay? We're working with f of g of x. And here we have the square root of 4x minus 20. Now, how can we evaluate the domain of that? Well, what do we know about the parent function, which is the square root of x? Well, we know when you have the square root of x, x cannot be less than 0. And that's going to go for this as well. So let's pretend that 4x minus 20 equals x. So we're going to say 4x minus 20 is greater than or equal to 0, right? Because when you just have square root of x, x must be greater than or equal to 0. So now we have 4x minus 20 must be greater than or equal to 0. So then you have 4x must be greater than or equal to 20. And then you get x must be greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so now we want to move over to f of x. And what do we want to do with f of x? Well, we want to say that, no, we want to figure out what would make this invalid, right? And what would make this invalid? Well, a 0 in the denominator. And how can we figure out what that would be? Well, 3x minus 9 cannot equal 0. 3x cannot equal 9. X cannot equal 3. Now, you might say, okay, good, we're done. But we're not done. We can't just say x cannot equal 3. We could do that if we were just working with f of x, but working with f of g of x. So we have to say, okay, well, what x value in g of x would give us 3? And then we exclude that x value. So then we say the square root of 4x minus 20 cannot equal 3. We square both sides and get 4x minus 20 cannot equal, what is that, 9. Then you get 4x cannot equal 29. And then you get x cannot equal 29 over 4. All right, so now we have pretty much all the hard work done. But we need to put this in the correct notation. Now, what do we want to do? Well, let's realize that this is in fact greater than 5. All right, so we're going to start off with a closed bracket, 5, comma, and then 29 over 4. And then this is going to be open brackets, union, open brackets, 29 over 4, comma. Then we have positive infinity. Open brackets. You always put open brackets on infinity, and you do that because infinity is not a number, it's a concept. Now, so here we have our answer here. Now, what is the biggest mistake that people make when trying to solve for the domain of a composite function? What they do is they just solve for f of g of x. And when they do that, they get the composite function, and then they figure out the domain of that. That's not going to work, okay? Because it'll get rid of some of the information, and we don't want to do that. So don't make that mistake, right? Do it the correct way. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. Have a great day.